Now, it's appropriate for the applause, but George, you have to let us roast you just a little bit. So, George Seperich, Dr. George Seperich, my friend and my colleague, I just want to say thank you for being the first person in our 42-year history to proceed through our new leadership succession plan and serve as not only vice chair, but chair, and now past chair. Thank you for that service. There are too many of your, have you ever heard the Georgisms? Yeah, okay, well, real quick, I'll just give you one, and I heard it last night. George says, you know, you need to drink Kentucky water. No, wait. You need to drink Kentucky bourbon, because what we're trying to do is save Arizona's water. So it gives you an idea of, if you hang with George very long, you're gonna hear not one, but maybe 100 little Georgisms. You have too many of those that I can't even count, and I definitely can't repeat them all for good cause. You may claim that you really have no class because you didn't go through Project Central. But you know, George, I have never witnessed a more sophisticated leader in the way that you seem to maneuver, and I'm very proud to call you my friend. You may even joke, George, that your true color is not orange, it's not green, it's not yellow, and it isn't blue. But really, your claim to fame is that you are the color of black. But you know something? I have never experienced someone who helps so many others to shine brightly, just as their own stars. You do that, George. And Dr. Seperich, I want to thank you for all of your funny stories. There's many of those too. And your dry sense of humor, your mentorship through all of our board governance transitions that we've taken place, your wisdom about life and leadership, and for the impact that you have had on so many, many lives. You know, just in this room and having conversations, just in this room alone, there are many who, if they were given the opportunity or the chance, they would tell you gladly of their story of how you have had such an impact on their, not only their lives, but also their careers. And George, we cannot say thank you enough for that. So as Professor Emeritus from my alma mater, Arizona State University, I know there aren't many in here, but I'm gonna say it out loud. So as Professor Emeritus from ASU, your legacy is going to live on with the Arizona Center for Rural Leadership. For you two now are the Central Board Member and past President Emeritus with Central. Congratulations. So thank you again for your leadership. George, you will always be the university whisperer in my mind. You will always, in the true color, shine brilliance even though you claim your color is black. And you are the man with absolutely no class, but a leader among the greatest leaders. Thank you so much, Dr. George Seperich.
George, on behalf of 300 rural leaders, that's about 40% of our alumni who got to experience the rich culture, hospitality, and ingenuity of the people of Sonora, Mexico, thank you. Mm-hmm. You did something more difficult than just start a trip. You restarted the international trip to Mexico a second time after a short hiatus. As a member of Class 29, my Mexico trip combined with Class 30 was very memorable for me. It was my first time in Mexico, and I remember feeling very uncomfortable because I didn't speak the language. For the first time, I could empathize with what it must feel like to live in a country where your native language is not the preferred or common language. I was invited to lean on my fellow class members and their knowledge of the language and the culture so that I could focus on navigating my surroundings. This allowed me to focus on the learning agenda about Sonora's agriculture, agribusiness industries, and the similarities for Arizona rural communities. Through the generosity of my class members, Project Central's board, and those guiding us through Mexico, I gained a sense of what it must take to become a leader. It represents George's generous effort to build a bridge through interdisciplinary experience for Central class members designed to bring people together across cultures and across countries. Forever changed, I often reflect on my experience of Mexico and how leadership, especially in times of change, requires generous amounts of empathy, connection, and perspective in order to bridge forward. The Rural Hero Award was created to honor Arizona's rural leaders who have not graduated from Project Central but have left a lasting impression on Arizona's rural communities. Certainly providing an experience in Mexico has helped to enrich my understanding of Arizona communities simply because Arizona was Mexico. But while we are now divided, we still see many similarities to agriculture technologies and enterprises that we see here in Arizona, which can unite us and allow us to work together across borders. George, thank you for giving us that perspective. Thank you for building bridges across cultures, across countries, and across communities.
So as we honor Dr. George Seperich, and we now will invite you to the stage to make a few remarks, please, all of us, once again, give a great round of applause for Dr. George Seperich, that first Arizona Rural Hero Award.
This is a great surprise, actually a terrific surprise. Also demonstrates what a strange group Project Central is. When you give an alumni award to someone who is not even an alumnus, what does that say? You choose badly? What's the story here? I am truly honored. I'm speechless, and I know those of you who know me, you haven't heard that very often, but listening to what your folks are saying is you're making my leaving the board very difficult. But change is important, and it's time to kind of move on to do some other things, etc. here. And I was listening to all these nice things that were said. I couldn't help but think about the fact that in genetics research, there's a gene that was discovered many years ago, and before they gave them very sophisticated names, they called that gene Indy, I-N-D-Y, because it had something to do with longevity. And what it meant to researchers is, I'm not dead yet. Thank you, and I'll be around for an awful long time to sort of haunt you. I really and truly appreciate this award. Can we go on and do something important now? Thank you.
Thank you, George.